It's 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Finally, the weekend's here. It's a bright sunny day and you want to step outside to your favorite cafe. The Uber you called is waiting outside and you hop in. It's a 10-minute ride and you plan to just sit back and scroll through Instagram. The day is going perfect so far. Your car stops at a signal and then it happens. You see a figure approaching your car. They're suddenly knocking on your window. They're an amputee and are asking for help. Your flight or fight response kicks in, your heart starts to beat faster, you need to decide whether to engage or not. You realize you can't do it. Your car moves ahead, they're gone. That was a close call, but it's left you feeling torn.
Has this ever happened to you? If you live in one of the metropolitan cities of India, chances are you experience this on the daily. Every time you leave the house, in fact. And yes, the deep discomfort we feel when in this situation has a lot to do with the tragic conditions of the beggar. But I think there's something deeper at play. Begging is a behavior that violates the very foundations of our social mechanism, and I believe that is one of the primary causes of this deep discomfort that we feel in these situations. In this video, we look at how begging is a unique interaction, unlike any other that we experience in our daily lives. We'll also look at some patterns of thought that most people go through when making the choice to give or not give in this situation. And most importantly, we look at how begging is just a symptom of a much larger and a more complex systemic issue. Before we get into how begging is a unique encounter like no other, let's lay some groundwork. I want to introduce you to a concept that fundamentally dictates how we interact with one another and without which modern society as a whole would cease to function. It's called the norm of reciprocity. Reciprocity is the expectation that people will respond to each other's actions with similar actions. Put simply, when someone does something for you, you feel an innate obligation to return the favor in kind. And this holds true for both positive and negative actions. Let's see how this plays out in everyday life. Let's say your friend recently helped you move into a new apartment. Now, you are very likely to help them the next time they need a hand. Or you buy them dinner or get them a gift or spend some time doing things that they really like. All of this as a way to give back. And this sets off a chain reaction of positive exchanges, which then creates a relationship that is balanced, fair, and most importantly, mutually beneficial. And this principle holds true across all levels of society, from the individual to the family unit to larger communities and ultimately economies and nations. Reciprocity is the thread that holds society together. But what happens when this principle is broken? That's what brings us to the topic of this video. You see, when a person begs, they're asking you for something with nothing to offer in return. They can't pay you back, not then, not later. This creates an asymmetrical relationship and puts you in a spot because the social contract that you're so used to is suddenly broken and you don't know what the best course of action might be. To add to this, in that situation, we feel a myriad of conflicting emotions regarding our views on complex moral topics like charity, economic inequality, poverty, and we must make a decision and resolve these within a matter of seconds. That is what creates the deep discomfort that we feel in this situation. Okay, now let's discuss the common patterns of thought that most of us go through when making the decision to give or not give. The first one, the legitimacy assessment. For most people, the choice rests on their assessment of the legitimacy of the beggar. If people perceive that the beggar is in genuine need, then they are more likely to give, and vice versa. The problem is that this moral assessment of genuineness isn't a rational one. It depends on visual signals and the external appearance of the beggar. Number 2, the ineffectiveness rationale. Many people express feelings of helplessness. They feel like no matter what they do, give or not give, nothing is going to make a difference. And this feeling of helplessness often leads us to disengage from the situation entirely. Number 3, public perception. Even in this situation, people often think about how others are seeing their choice. Generosity is a desirable trait, and therefore people are more likely to give if they think somebody else is watching them. Number 4, the enablement dilemma. Many of us feel that the choice to give creates further harm, that by giving we are facilitating the act of begging even further. So, is there a right way to think and feel about this? Not really. The choice to give or not to give is a very personal one and there's no right or wrong. The truth is that begging is only a symptom of a much larger and much more complex systemic issue, poverty, and individual acts of giving do little to help in that regard. Economic inequality, lack of affordable housing, unemployment, absentee social welfare systems, inadequate healthcare, the list goes on. These are some of the systemic failures that give rise to acts like begging. I repeat, begging is only a symptom of a much larger problem. Real solutions require policy changes, strong social safety nets, and collective action by governments. The purpose of this video was not to tell you how to feel or think about this, but rather to tell you a bit more about why you feel the way you do in these situations so that the next time you have more perspective. I hope you liked this video and found some value out of it. I hope to see you in the next one.